The title is Surviving in Two Extreme Conditions, Antarctica and the Andes. Whether it's Africa or the Arctic, humans can go wherever they want without permission. On the other hand, Antarctica is a frigid region where civilians are prohibited from crossing the 60th parallel south without government permission. Artifacts from some parts of South America depict humans and dinosaurs coexisting, with some depicting humans riding small dinosaurs like horses. Dinosaurs were Mesozoic creatures, not contemporaries of humans, making these artifacts impossible, leading some to believe they were fakes. In that context, the land of Antarctica may be associated with a time and space different from existing theories, traditions, and beliefs, such as the subterranean world or the divine realm. Is this why arbitrary access by ordinary civilians is restricted? Likewise, there are several mysterious stories, conspiracy theories about Antarctica, a forbidden land. In Antarctica, ancient unknown pyramid discovered. Admiral Byrd entered the inner earth through a huge hole in Antarctica during a flight, and there he witnessed the subtropical climate, extinct mammals, a highly developed civilization, and extraterrestrial beings. An instance in which American soldiers investigating a secret Nazi base were attacked by a UFO in Antarctica, etc. One, let's start a story that happened during the Japanese Antarctic exploration in 1956, when the scientific level was lower than it is now. In November 1956, the icebreaker Sawyer went to Antarctica with 53 Antarctic observation team members and 22 special agents, whose families or anyone else would not make claims if they died or went missing. The Sawyer returned home, leaving behind the first wintering unit at Showa Base, consisting of 11 observers and 19 special agents. They operated for over a year. 2. February 1958, the icebreaker Sawyer, carrying the second wintering party, which was replaced the first wintering party, was unable to arrive at the Showa base due to bad weather, and fortunately a small Soviet ski plane was dispatched to rescue the first wintering party. The small ski plane managed to leave with difficulty, carrying 11 observation members from the first wintering team within the limits of the small ski plane's structural capacity. The 15 special agents who had survived until then were unable to be rescued and were left in the freezing hell. No further rescues were possible after that. Was it because of the bad weather and the extreme limitations of the Antarctica environment? Did headquarters carefully decide that the remaining special agents had no choice but to die? Were they kamikaze attack units that failed to complete their mission? 3. On January 4, 1959, the third wintering unit arrived in Showa Base. They searched for the 15 special agents who had been left behind about a year earlier. 7 are dead, the rest missing. They were all presumed dead. However, during the search, 2 agents, Taro and Jiro, were found alive. It was a tremendous miracle. In fact, those who weren't human beings. They were two Carafudo dogs, among the many dogs that always help humans without question. They were sled dogs. A year ago, 15 sled dogs were scheduled to be rescued within a few days, but due to bad weather, they were unable to be rescued and all died, causing great shock in Japan. They were trained up and waiting to be rescued, and a year later, 7 of the dogs were found dead, still trained up and intact, while the rest broke free and escaped, presumably dying, with Taro and Jiro being the only ones rescued alive. They must have barely managed to survive miraculously in the freezing cold of hell. The two were wary of those who arrived after a year, but Kitamura, a member of the first wintering team, called their names and they came to their rescue. For Taro and Jiro were originally 3 brothers, their father being Kuma and their younger brother being Saburo. They were the 4 members of a group selected from the 1,000 Karafudo dogs living in Hokkaido. They were trained as sled dogs, and the youngest brother, Saburo, died in Hokkaido during training. When the Soviet plane took off in the above two, the mother dog Sirocco and her 8 pups were fortunately rescued. It is said that the fuel equivalent to the entire white was removed for the rescue. The pup's father was Jiro. At that time, the father dog and the rest of the family were separated forever. Taro and Jiro must have been hungry, but they refused to touch their friends' bodies. As mentioned earlier, the 7 dogs were found frozen, their bodies intact, chained together. Jiro died illness at the age of 4 on July 9, 1960 at Showa Base while serving with the 4th Wintering Unit. Taro continued his work and returned to Japan in May 4, 1961 after 4.5 years. He spent the rest of his life at the Hokkaido University Botanical Garden in Sapporo, where he died at the age of 14 on August 11, 1970. The above content is referenced from YouTube and Google. 5. The following is a plane crash in the Andes Mountains amidst the extreme conditions and the accident. Only 16 of the 45 people on board ultimately survived. On October 13, 1972, a chartered plane carrying a Uruguayan amateur rugby team crashed while crossing the Andes Mountains on its way to a friendly match against Chile. There were 45 people on board. 12 died immediately after the crash, and another 70 died within days from extreme cold, hunger, and landslides deep in the snow-covered Andes. Despite desperate rescue efforts, 72 days passed, and finally, after a 10-day struggle, 2 surviving passengers managed to cross the mountain and reach a village on the Chilean side, bringing the total number of survivors to 16. The only food left on the plane at the time was a few chocolate bars, a few bags of cookies, and a few bottles of wine. Their only way to survive was to eat the bodies of the dead passengers. Among the rescued survivors, Robert Canissa later wrote a book titled "I Had to Survive," detailing the events of that day. Their story was made into the 1993 film Alive. Meanwhile, Dr. Roberto Canissa, who first advocated for cannibalism among survivors at the crash site 45 years ago also attended the memorial service. He described it as a truly heartbreaking accident. He added, "I had to eat my friend to survive." Quoted from the following 조선일보 article. Given that humans were completely incapable of enduring extreme environments and ended up eating their friends as food, were humans inferior to Karafudo, dogs, taro, and zeros? I deeply feel that all living beings, whether humans or animals, are being thirsty for life, who must overcome misfortune, tears, and pain. Finally, the Bible says, Romans 8, 19 to 22, "For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. For the creatures were made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. We know that the whole creation groans and travails in pain together until now." Isaiah 11:6-10. "The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together. And a little child shall lead them, and the cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and the rest shall be glorious." In Japanese. In Chinese. Thank you.